What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Beanball Podcast. This is episode 66, and we are your hosts, Alan and Alan.
What's going on, everyone?
What's up, man?
Not a whole lot, man. Besides,
Besides drinking mountain water out of a can.
Yeah, man. It's water.
Liquid death.
Literally, the first time I thought it was like some, Def Coffee, like this is their canned version, like latte or something. I'm like, and I'm like, it's water. Okay, I'll try it out. It's Australian. It's refreshing,
I hope so, man.
Yeah.
Is it alkaline?
I don't think so.
Murder your thirst.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's get into some exciting news.
Yeah. So it was about 3 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks or some change ago. Got a comment on one of our videos from this past year, the mythical legend of Ohtani. I'm like, okay, this is weird. And I was like, okay, let me comment on it. Here's our email. Reach back to us. Well, we got the email response. Pretty much they were doing a documentary about this MVP race and want to use that video in clips for it. I'm like, of course, you got to do research to make sure it's legit.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's
always skeptical,
It's like, this is random. Like, we're not a big channel. But I'm like, okay. Show down. Like, you down? He's like, sure.
I said, well, what do we have to lose, man?
Right?
It's pretty good exposure.
So, email back like, yeah, what do you need? We need to sign this, disclosure agreement. Okay, done. And I'm like, okay. So we're thinking about when this thing, you think MVP, you think when they announce the MVP around then, if it's just about time, but actually end up being about just MVP race overall. So we're like, okay, still probably November. And then my question to her was like, all right, is this going to be online so we can watch this? And then that email back shocked me, was like, it's going to be on Fox. I'm like, you have to be joking me.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool, man. So Alan sent me the link and to sign the papers and stuff, and we were talking about it, and it was like DLP Media Group. So we fact checked them, did our background check, and it looks like they actually do some good stuff. So yeah, they were doing a documentary about this year's MVP. It's titled "The Race: Quest for Baseball's MVP."
Yep.
It was supposed to debut after Game 3 of the ALCS on FS1.
It did.
It was just so late.
If you're on the East Coast,
yeah,
you have been a night owl. If you're on the West Coast, it probably wasn't too bad.
Yeah, so for us on the East Coast,
locally, I think it finally came on about 1:30 in the morning.
Exactly. So most of us were sleeping. I have not yet have a chance to see it, but Alan's brother Tyler, he got a glimpse of it the next morning, I believe.
Yeah, I think he recorded it and watched it before.
Yeah, he watched some of it, and he got a clip of us in there, so we are featured in it.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Pretty exciting stuff.
I recorded it for some reason when it came back from the first commercial break. Like the website crashed or froze, but at least I got a part where we're in it, but I still want to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't got a chance to watch any of it, really.
Yeah.
So I think the next time it comes on is Saturday at 7 a.m. So I'm
Eastern time. So hopefully I'm off Saturday. Of course, it's my daughter's party finally.
Oh, yeah.
So
time.
I can watch it before we start getting going to get that party all finished up. I'm just really excited. It looks good. The little bit I've watched, it just started going into about the part that we're in. It's, of course, about Shohei Ohtani, talking about how, like, okay, of course, at 18, he was the Rookie of the Year. 19, he had Tommy John. 20, he had an injury year, didn't play much, looked like he wasn't ready. Mm-hmm. So now we finally get a healthy Ohtani and what he's done.
Yeah, man.
And, like, the girls explain, like, and then he's striking people out. And Ben Verlander was like, because he narrates it, he's like, oh, wait. That's right. He's a pitcher too. And then they talk about like a couple people, some like Dontrelle Willis is in it.
Oh, yeah.
John Boy Media. And then they like show little tweets and stuff. And then they show Alan talking about Ohtani.
Yeah.
And then
so
a little clip of us, and then goes on to Vlad Jr. That's when it goes to commercial.
Yeah, I guess when they're showing it. I saw what Tyler sent me. It's kind of hard to hear it, but it looked like you hear. I guess I'm talking over.
You're talking
while
over
the
the tweets
are
a little
showing,
bit,
and then they show us at the very end of the
Yeah.
clip, which is pretty cool. I mean, look, we're not expecting big things from that, but it's cool to be in it.
Yeah,
it's cool to be thought about.
Yeah, just even reached out to about. I'm like, this is awesome. Like,
yeah,
like we're in like just be physically seen us in the 7-line documentary that Sports Illustrated, which is cool for us.
Loyal to the last out,
yeah.
I believe.
So, and then being local media for us being sports and stuff, and then people see us all the time when we're doing a lot of autograph seeking and stuff.
Yeah, so let's break it down. So me and Alan were in another documentary by Sports Illustrated shown on ESPN. We weren't featured. We weren't talking about anything. We were just there for a game where the Nationals were playing the Mets at National Stadium, and the Seven Line Army was there. So it was one of their outings, and it was Loyal to the Last Out's the name of the documentary, and it's about the Mets fans. And you can see
run
us
towards the 2016 after the World Series.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty crazy, and you can see us in the documentary a
see
couple
us like
times.
When it pans out, we're
somebody's
standing there.
going into somebody's sliding into second base, and it
and
pans
then,
out.
The second time we're in it is when he strikes out and they throw him out, and we all celebrate, and it shows us celebrating.
And also there was a time there when we were Alan was making really cool edits with Photoshop, and we were taking all of our we were getting autographs. We were hunting for autographs like crazy, and we got Trey Freeman,
local legend,
local basketball player for ODU. He made a crazy good shot to take us into the
tournament.
Was it NIT or I thought it was tickets to the NCAA? Well, either way,
it was NIT.
Okay, yeah. So he did that, and we were getting his autograph at Harbor Park, which is our AAA stadium down here. And the news coverage, local news here, got us because we had the cool pictures made.
Yeah,
and they got us in that. We were also on some. You can locate us on like Cam Chancellor's Cookout on his website. We were in there too, getting autographs. So yeah, but this is the best one, obviously, because we were featured and we're talking on it.
Especially since this is a baseball podcast,
exactly,
and this is associated with Major League, MLB, and it's also being on Fox. It's like this is a big thing, MLB, Fox Sports presents. It's like wow.
Out of all the people doing podcasts and videos and stuff, we actually got ours on a little bit of glimpse on this documentary. It's pretty cool,
and it's cool. They reached other smaller ones. To my knowledge, a guy I kind of follow on YouTube, I guess he talked like they had one from Vladdy. So some of the bigger names, they got smaller people to kind of talk about social media and stuff like with these little clips, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, man.
To reach out to the smaller guys like us.
Yeah, so I guess you could say we made it.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched it, like you said, 7 a.m. Eastern time here. Of course, if you live in the West Coast, it's different. But of course, you might have stayed up and actually got to watch it since it wasn't that bad for you, because 1:30 here would have been what? 10:30 there, so that's not that bad.
Well, hey, even if you've watched it and you didn't notice us, go back and rewatch it and see if you can see us, guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
let us know what you think.
The first before the commercial break, so the first like 10-15 minutes is the part we're in.
Yeah, so it's like you don't have to watch the whole thing. You just watch the first 15 minutes and check us out.
Yeah. All right, so let's get right into this playoff series. You know,
man.
Last week when we were recording this, we were talking about the NL wild card, so this is the first thing we need to go into is what a game, because when we left here, it was 1-1 tied. I think in the fifth or sixth inning when we left here. And how it ended is like a storybook script, which apparently someone predicted.
Oh, really?
It's not Dave Roberts.
Wow. Okay.
So, he couldn't predict what the situation and ending of the game would occur, but who knew at some point over the next month that Chris Taylor, mirroring his slump at the plate, were going to come up big for the Dodgers.
Man, I don't know what they said his stats were. I think they said he was like 0 for the last 70 something.
He was an all-star at break.
Yeah.
And then after that, like some of the other all-stars just got into a slump.
And it happens. I mean, baseball, we know about it, man. You get slumps. It's not uncommon. But what a way to come up huge.
So one person, on the other hand, had a feeling, and his name was Max Scherzer. He said, on the other hand, he knew something that Taylor was going to deliver. With 2 outs in the ninth, Scherzer leaned over to Joe Kelly and predicted what was going to happen. He said, hey, I think Cody's going to get on, and CT is going to hit a homer, and we're going home.
Nice.
And Scherzer remembers telling Kelly, watch this. And it went insane after it went a walk-off 2-run home run to send the Dodgers to the National League Division Series, of course, against their division rival, the Giants.
So, when you think about these kind of games, these wild card games, it actually, when it ends like this, it does make that one game super exciting. It's like you bring what you got one chance, and then a walk-off.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
A 1-1 tie going into the ninth, you're like, which some of these games we're talking about in these other series have been close games.
Yeah.
So you can't really say like there's a team going into the playoffs like, I don't think they can do it this year. Almost everyone has a shot. And then these games, it shows that, what happens if this is a 3-game series? Like some people are predicting that it might end up being here next year. So, which was awesome. And then another thing which was awesome was that Trey Turner and Max Scherzer had some extra fans there at the game.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome, dude.
Former teammate and former hitting coach Juan Soto and Kevin Long was near the front row at Dodger Stadium, repping their former players' jerseys from the Nationals. Soto had Turner's jersey on, and Kevin Long, the former hitting coach, had Max Scherzer jersey
Yeah, man.
on.
I thought it was pretty cool.
That was awesome.
And he even said something like Soto was like, it's even cooler watching it from the stands,
Yeah.
watching somebody hit like.
You think about like when's the last time they actually sat to a baseball game and watched?
Yeah, I don't know.
It had to be like college. You're thinking high school. Some of these guys, especially Soto, came from another country. So
Right.
when's actually when he was a young kid was probably the last time he watched a baseball game.
I mean, if that, I don't know his upbringing,
Especially in the stands. 'Cause, yeah, watching a baseball game when you're injured is different.
But even in the stands, like, what about from behind home plate? He's
Yeah.
out there like the Marlins, man. He's out there right there.
Yeah, especially Dodge Stadium where
Up
it's
close.
like it's kind of you're a little bit lower.
And you get to see a walk off.
Yeah.
I mean, just the energy alone from that view, it's got to be cool.
Yeah,
Um,
it'd be different like if you've never been in that moment, but since you've been in World Series, you won it, so it's like it's cool. But as a fan, experience it, I bet it's something different.
Was he wearing his ring?
Probably wouldn't surprise
Yeah,
me.
I thought I saw some the World Series ring there, but I could be mistaken. But yeah, that was a pretty cool thing, man.
Yeah, so
All
it
right.
was awesome. So then, of course, they advanced, but then now we're gonna get to the American League, and the first series that wrapped up is the Red Sox and Rays. Man, the series it was the first game.
I mean, it was good, but it's just that
The one thing
Rays didn't.
I was worried about happened was the pitching, the
Yeah.
young pitching.
Yeah.
Game one, it looked different. But Callahan for the Rays, their young guy took care of business between the other pitchers. They won 5-0, and then the last year's Greek god of the postseason, Rosarina, looked like his old self that game.
Oh yeah, I mean, the dude was doing it all, man.
Yeah,
he was stealing home.
He scored the first
hitting
run
home
after
runs.
Wander Franco hit a double. Then of course Franco scored, but then Cruz hit a home run. Rosarina hit a home run. Then, like you said, he stole home to wrap it up as the fifth run.
My man looked like Benny the Jet Rodriguez out there.
Like he timed it perfectly. I'm like, yo, this
Like he's
team
still at home.
is-
They don't see him. He's still at home.
I'm like, this team is going to be dangerous.
Yeah, man, it was really cool. But yes, I mean, overall, the Red Sox took it 3-1.
Yep.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, a lot of people besides Red Sox fans, I bet, didn't see it. But like I said, I was worried. I thought maybe they could get through this series, but the pitching would worry me next round.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of showed, like, yes, these are some young guys. They're not 100% the guy yet.
Right.
So, but the Red Sox hitting, stood out, especially after game one, after they got blanketed.
Well,
they put it up the next 3 games.
yeah, I mean, the Red Sox got they lost the first game 5-0.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's exactly what we thought. Like, okay, here comes the Rays. They're going to steamroll. But then the next game, like you said, the Red Sox did the opposite, and they just went crazy. Both
Yes.
teams scored high, but 14-6.
14-6. Yeah,
That's a pretty crazy score.
And it all started with the first inning. It was 2-0, and then they but the Rays answered back to score 5 in the first. Like, okay,
Right.
here we go. But then Bogarts homered, Virgo homered, Hernandez homered, so there it's tied. Then Martinez homered with I think 2 on, which they took the lead. Then Cho homered, like, okay, they're coming back. But then there at the end of the game, Red Sox scored the rest of the runs, where Rays did not do anything there the second half of the game too.
And then the next 2 games, it wasn't like it was a blowout or anything. The Rays were in it. They had chances.
So game 3 is the big controversy.
Yeah.
So the hit, I forgot who hit the double, but it hit the thing, came back and actually hit, I think, Alex Virgo, and then it went out. So then it counted ground rule double.
Yeah.
And so it's
Yes,
like it's on.
yes,
apparently,
yes,
a lot of people saying it's on the that he should be able to score from third. They would have took the lead then, or had a 2-run lead instead of just the 1-run lead.
Yeah, man. It's definitely going to be controversial. They'll take a look at it in the future, but there's nothing you can do about it now.
Yeah, I think,
it's-
when Rosarina doubled, they saying 2 should have scored there. Should have been 5-4.
I get it.
But it was tied, so they went to extras. And of course, Vagras homered with 2 scored to a walk-off home run in the 13th inning.
Yep.
So and then the next night, it was close yet again.
Yeah, it was real close. I mean, they lost 6-5. Good game.
It was a very good game. What shocked me was there at the end. So, what is it? Why am I drawing a blank? Hold on, give me a second. Hernandez, Keith Hernandez, I think, right? If I remember correctly.
Keith Hernandez. I
Not
don't know if
Keith.
you're talking about Keith. We love you, Keith.
Not that. It's Hernandez. I'm trying to think of the first name, but
Kike.
Kike. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know. I'm drawing a blank. Kike Hernandez.
Okay, so he's
Oh,
on
yeah.
the plate with 2 on.
Oh, yeah.
He's been the hottest hitter for this series. You have an open base. Why not walk him
Even announcers.
to do the double play
Yeah.
to get a chance? And he has a fly ball deep enough near the Green Monster to easily walk in the winning run to win the series.
Yeah, man. If I recall, I was thinking that the guys were even talking about it. They were
Yeah,
like,
oh, you're a welcome here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is what you should do. And then they didn't.
They didn't, which was very shocking.
Yeah. Nah, man, it happens sometimes. So.
I'm like, I understand Kevin Cash, like, analytics should go your way. Like, we believe in our pitcher. Like, nah, be smart about this. Load the bases, give your guys a ground ball chance. Because I'm pretty sure the next guy wasn't as good or hasn't been especially as hot as Hernandez in that series. It's that wish you woulda coulda kind of thing. Because by golly, win that game, you go back to Tampa for Game 5. But other than that, you're at home now.
Yeah.
Defending AL champs are now out. So someone else. So the Red Sox move on. So the next question we got to think about is, will the Rays actually spend money this offseason?
You know what, man? I've been doubting them the last 2 seasons in a row, and they proved me wrong both years. So I don't know. I think they know what they're doing. They must like what they got. If I were to spend any money, it might be on some pitching.
Yes.
But I'm not doubting them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they got a good recipe.
Solid team.
Yeah.
Do you need a couple pieces? Yes. Possibly a bat because you think Nelson Cruz, was a 1-year deal. You definitely he's older, but he hasn't been that strong there the second half after the trade deadline. That's possibly, and then yes, pitching.
So small pieces, man.
So possibly right now their payroll, I think with, arbitration and stuff, they're looking at around $70 million payroll. Still at the bottom. You're still putting up 100 wins. Now the rumor of the CBA possibly have a minimum salary of $100 million. If that is true, you're talking they got to spend $30 million this offseason.
Easy. That's easy. You can get a prime pitcher for a year, or you can
pay some of your younger guys on
you can do a lot.
Like especially Wander Franco and Rosarina, what they've done.
Oh yeah,
you can give them team-friendly deals to kind of eat some of that money. So if it is $100 million still, well, I think it would be beneficial that some veterans going to get paid a little more, and also some younger guys going to get paid a little more. I think it's going to be a win-win, hopefully. But if it is come true, Ray's going to have to spend some money this offseason.
Right, but this isn't like we're talking about like the Orioles or something. These guys don't need to spend the money. If they need to make an up for the payroll or the budget, then that's fine. But
yeah,
overall, the Rays, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Well, they will have Glass now back next year, so you have that. So really,
exactly,
and they have the 3 young guys that they're going to go with this playoff. So you're thinking one more veteran pitcher, probably a starter.
Yeah. And you can get one for a deal.
Yeah.
And especially since we saw all those guys who were going to be free agents that we talked about last time. Yeah, absolutely. There's people out there. And who knows? There might even be like a steal. Like maybe Houston doesn't want a Verlander or something, and you can pick him up cheap because we got to see what he's got. He can't come back getting paid. You don't know what this guy's got.
Yeah, and it's going to throw everything off because, some of these teams might have to keep their players and pay them more because of the minimum salary.
Right.
You're not going to dump your salary and have a $40 million roster when you have to have $100 million.
Exactly. So that'd be something to keep an eye on. And obviously, I want to say they're going to spend money because of the division they're in, but what they've been doing, it won't surprise me.
I think the 3rd lowest payroll and had the 2nd highest wins this year.
Exactly. They got
3rd highest.
They got the recipe, man.
Yeah. So the next one is the Astros and White Sox, and man, did we get this series wrong.
Oh yeah, man, this was an eye opener, a little shocker. I guess it's because I hate the Astros the last couple of years, and I just keep thinking of the trash can and whatever signs they were still in this series. But you know what? You got to give them their due, man.
Yeah.
They keep pushing forward, and the skipper's got to be happy.
Yeah. They took game 1 6-1. I'm like, okay, it's just game 1. Like,
Yeah, game 1. That happens.
Lance McCullers for the Astros have been already one of the best pitchers in the American League this year. He went 6 2/3 inning, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts, did his job against that very offensive-minded White Sox lineup. You can't be mad at that. Lance Lynn did get hurt early. I think he barely got to the 4th inning before getting taken out. I think, 5 earned runs.
Mm-hmm.
So that one hurt them. So, okay, game 2, bounce back, White Sox. Well, Houston got all over them yet again, especially scoring, I think, 5 in the 7th to kind of wrap it then. Like, oh, wow, you're now down 0-2.
Yeah, man, when you're down 0-2 in a 5-game series, that takes all the wind out of you. Luckily, they had a bounce back in game 3. It was a really high-scoring game overall.
Yes, it was back and forth. And this is the game that we're talking about that before the race thing. I'm like, okay, especially the 1 inning. I think it was the 5-run 3rd. I'm like, look, you're spending too much time this inning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm trying to watch this special. But,
yeah, but y'all ain't trying to have it happen.
And then even the 8th inning, they scored 3 runs in the 8th. I'm like, bro,
look,
wrap this up.
I knew it wasn't happening because we were sitting there watching it, and it was like, I'm not sure what the score was. It was like something to something. It was like, I don't know, 6 or 4 to whatever. In like the 3rd inning or something, it just kept going. I was like, look, at this rate, they're not finishing this game near midnight. It's not going to happen.
I'm like, okay, we need some quick. And it was going okay, but like I said, White Sox got 3 more insurance runs in the bottom of the 8th. I'm like, wrap this up.
Yeah, unfortunately, they wasted all their runs on Game 3 and didn't carry any into 4.
Oh man,
I mean, they
Game 4. So, the next day after Game 3, it got postponed because of rain.
Yes. This is true.
So it's like, okay, well, now some of the guys, your bullpen had an extra day of rest. Like, now you can play with it. Rendon was doing good, but then he got hit there, I think, in the 4th inning or the 3rd inning. He allowed 2 runs, and then Michael Coulter came in, and then they just added up after just the 1 solo home run for the White Sox from Sheets. In the 2nd, after that, it was just all Astros, and they started piling on, and then in the 9th, I think they scored 3 more runs, and I'm like, well, that's game. Like, it's just sad, and then White Sox head home.
I mean, when you're sitting there and your best players aren't producing, you can't win the game. I mean, Tim Anderson leadoff has no hits. And then you have, Engel with no hits, Abreu no hits. It's just, if you can't get hits together, and the only people getting hits at the bottom of your lineup, like Yasmani Grandal, Jimenez, and Sheets, you can't expect greatness. I mean, especially when the other teams over there just crushing you guys.
Yeah.
So it's tough, man, and especially when you guys, like you said, Rodon was only out there for 2.2 innings. He gave up 2, which isn't bad, but then you bring in Kopech, who gave up the rest for you.
Well, this is the question mark, because before this game, I think after the game the other night, he pitched almost 50 pitches.
Yeah.
When he usually pitches just an inning, he usually has 3 days rest.
Okay.
Now, he did 2 innings of work for you in Game 3.
Well,
everyone thought he was done, and then next year he was the first one out the bullpen.
Yeah.
And gave up 2 runs.
I get it. Look, you guys want to rely on your best pitchers to get you out of tough situations, but at the same time, they haven't done this at all year.
Especially Kopech has been from injuries.
Yeah.
Not playing last year, so
right.
You're trying to guide them, and I understand you need them. It's desperate. It's a do or die game, but
yeah, but they brought in the whole house, man. I mean, you're bringing in Craig Kimbrell and Hendricks.
Yeah,
and
even
stuff like
he
that.
gave up runs, and then Liam Hendricks gave up runs. Like at that point, I think they gave up.
Gave up 3.
Like did he whatever? It's it.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I
and
kind of wonder.
And that's all you can say. They rolled over. They took it. It is what it is. We're going to see the Astros move on, and they're going back to the NLC or the ALCS again
for the 5th straight year.
That's impressive.
Since they won the World Series that 2017 year, they have been in the ALCS every year.
That is very impressive. The thing that's disheartening about that is what happened after that.
Yeah. So I'm partially, I'm okay with the Houston if they keep going, because only thing I can root for the Houston keep moving forward is Dusty. I'd love to see Dusty in a World Series as a coach, since he has never been as a manager. It's going to be an interesting series because, both these teams, you think about cheating scandals with Alex Cora with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
And it's just funny, they won a World Series. They were in the playoffs the next year. And then Alex, got let go for the previous season, and they did garbage, and first games back, they're back to the championship series.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, speaking of garbage, if the Astros make it to the World Series, I am banging on my trash can all day. I'm like, boo! I'm not on that team.
It's going to be an interesting World Series.
I don't care if Dusty's the manager or not. I am not rooting for them.
So,
all right.
Let's go to the National League.
Yeah, National League
series the other series that has wrapped up, the Milwaukee Brewers and the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, man. For a second there, I was enjoying it. I think we expected
low scoring pitching games. Like this could have been I really thought Brewers going to take it there at the end.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I thought the Brew Crew had a good shot. I'll tell you what I did enjoy though. Even though yesterday was their last game, right?
Yes.
Before they were knocked out, but one of the guys hit a home run, and they actually played a clip of Bob Uecker calling that home run, and it was pretty cool to hear that, man, because he's been with the Brewers for 51 years.
Yeah,
that's nuts. But yeah, let's talk about it.
So game 1, Brewers ended up winning 2-1,
yeah.
and that was all from a 2-run home run that Milwaukee hit in the 7th inning. So this is kind of the series went. It was a low scoring pitching game.
Pitchers duels, man.
In the 7th inning, Tez hit a 2-run homer, and then Jock Peterson pulled within 1 in the 8th, but couldn't get over the hump there in the 9th. So they ended up losing 2-1. Charlie Morton had a great game.
Speaking of Jock Peterson, hold up. Let's not go past this guy.
We'll go more because, he does continue on with these games.
I'm just saying.
But Charlie Morton, 6 innings, he only gave up those 2-run home runs.
Okay.
So unfortunately, we just thought, and then of course for Brewers, Burns was out there. He did 6 innings, allowed no earned runs, 2 hits allowed in his 6 Ks won his 6 innings. Hader came in, did his work, to keep it within 1 run to win the game. Game 2, opposite. Braves took it 3-0.
Yeah, but still a good game if you think about it. I guess they must have left Woodruff in there just a little too long. He pitched 6, gave up 3, but they weren't doing anything in response. Everybody else who came in after him shut it down, so it was a pretty solid game as we expect.
Yeah.
But like I said, you bring in my man, Mr. Jock Peterson, for a pinch hit, and guess what he does? He absolutely hits a homer, man. He's just. I think
Not this game.
Oh, game 2.
Game 3 he did. Game 2, it was just Freeman.
No, game 2.
Oh, did they do it wrong?
No. He was 2 pitch hits, 2 home runs.
I got Freeman single, Abreu doubled, and then Riley homered.
I got Jock Peterson pinch hit.
Jock hit a Peterson homer in game 3. The one in Atlanta to be up 2-1. He came in the 5th inning to do a pitch hit home run, hit a 3-run home run when it was 0-0 going into the 5th inning. And it ended up being that would be the final score. Because they won 3-0 game 2. They won 3-0 game 3. And then game 4, which was last night, was the close game, which we all thought it would, being a do-or-die game in Atlanta. So, I guess it was last night. Atlanta ended up taking it there at the end, 5-4. But it was drama. In the 4th inning, Milwaukee scored 2. Bottom of the 4th, Atlanta scored 2. In the 5th, Milwaukee scored 2 more. Okay, now they're up 4-2. Well, that bottom inning, Atlanta scored 2 more to make it all tied and went all the way down to the bottom of the 8th, where Freddie Freeman, and then hit a go-ahead home run off of Josh Frater. Usually, he's the 9th inning. They put him in. You're like, this is a do-or-die game. Let's shut it down.
Well, the reason they had him in there is because, he had lefties in the lineup, and he's a lefty pitcher. And he took care of the first one really good.
I think he hasn't given a home run since July something.
Yeah,
and Freeman just got a hold of it. Was that
a 2-out home run or was it a 1-out?
I think it was a 1-out.
Okay, because what I was saying is, he was in there because of the lefties. Yeah, you're right. I think he took care of the last guy pretty easily. But when Jock came in there, or Freddie Freeman came in there, man, he got all of it.
Yeah, 428.
Yeah, and when he hit that, I kind of had a feeling. I was like, yeah.
I was like, this is probably it.
It was in the 8th, right?
It was in the 8th, so all he did is 3 outs in the 9th, and that was it. And then, of course, the last person at bat for the Brewers was Yelich, and he had a pop fly out to left field to end it, to let Atlanta Braves go back to the NLCS once again. And the biggest thing was Atlanta's doing it without 3 of their big stars. Of course, Acuna, of course, Mike Soroka, and then really you got Ozuna too.
Yeah.
So you think about it, 3 of the big guys that would help them there last year are now not there, and yet they're back in it.
Right, and we kind of had a feeling they would be, especially after the second half they played from the All-Star break.
After making those trades and stuff, they made sure that they had a chance.
I mean, you're right. Without
Acuna, Soroka being your number 1 guy, and then Ozuna being like that guy that last year they got his money. Of course, he off the field reasons why he's not in there, but Atlanta's back in it, and I did pick them preseason, and I think they could do it because they're missing those guys, and they are proven wrong. Like, they are scrappy.
Especially without Acuna, man.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's like a Bryce Harper of the team. Like, yeah, you got to have him. But you're right. They're playing really good. But so are the Dodgers. And when I see the Dodgers and losing all these players, and then they got, like, big guys stepping up still, I'm like, oh, well, they're still good.
Yeah. So let's go right to the Giants and Dodgers series. The one series we still have going because they decided they need a 5th and final game.
And it should be like this, man, because think about it.
Of all series, of especially these teams,
this one
division rivals, it makes so much more sense.
So yeah, for sure, man. I mean,
game 1, Giants took care of business 4-0 in game 1,
which is good because that set the tone, and that's how we've been seeing them all year. Like, when you think about it, you're like the Dodgers. That's like the best team, right? Yeah. And then you got the Giants. Well, everybody's sleeping on them.
Yeah.
They finished first in that division. You can't sleep on the Giants.
Finished with the best record.
Just because they don't have all the names doesn't mean they're not the team. And they are the team.
Yep.
And they're proving it. So you're right. First game, 4-0.
First game, 4 runs, all came off home runs. 2 solos and 1 2-run shot. Or no, yeah, 2-run shot and 2 solos. So they took care of business. Then game 2, Dodgers even back the series, a 9-2 win.
Yeah, the Dodgers like, hey guys, we're serious. This is us. And they came back 1-9-2. They won with style. Like they're like, hey, we're going to put up these runs.
Yeah, and a few homers, but a lot of singles and stuff, kind of what you expect from LA. And then game 3 was this very close 1-0 victory for the Giants.
1-0, man. And
Max Scherzer got pulled in after 7. He gave up the 1 home run, which was Evan Longoria.
Yeah,
it
was a beauty.
407 home run to center field.
It was a beauty.
After that, everyone else did their business, and very tight game.
This was a great game, in my opinion, because like after he gave up that home run, I was expecting the Dodgers to bounce back. But the Giants pitchers, man, they were just like, no, not today. We're doing our job. I was really impressed. I mean, it was good, man. And you know what's crazy is that the Giants only had 3 hits.
Yeah.
so it's not so
like we thought.
Yeah, it was one mistake.
One little mistake. It's all it takes sometimes.
Right.
Which we thought with the wild card game, that's what it does. One little mistake will cost you your playoffs.
Especially the wild card game. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
And this, you're pretty much was about to end the series if you messed up the next night. So one mistake. Now they have 1 game to win. So they decided to put Walker Buehler back on the mound on short rest. In a do or die game. He handled business. You only gave up 1 run after 4 1/3 inning. Bullpen took it from there. But after that, they scored 4 runs in the first 4 innings.
Yeah, that's
good.
Good.
Giants put it on the board. Then they scored another run. Then Bryant, pulled within 3. Like, okay. But then Smith homered 7-2 being the final score.
Yeah, so, needless to say, when the Dodgers are going to win so far in this series, they've been winning big.
Yeah.
So they need to score at least 5 runs, it looks like. But I can't wait to see the next one.
So tomorrow night, 9:07 Eastern Standard Time, we have Eures versus Webb.
Okay.
In a winner-die game. Winner gets to host Atlanta. Well, if Giants win, they host Atlanta. If Dodgers win, they'll be going to Atlanta.
Nice.
So, of course, that will start on Saturday.
And if I'm not mistaken, man, when I was watching the last game, I think Trey Turner came up pretty huge, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been doing great. Like I said, that's my favorite second baseman, man.
Yeah.
Or shortstop, wherever they're going to put him.
I think he's second base right now.
But he's a
most
traditional
likely
shortstop.
He will be the shortstop next year because I'm pretty sure Corey Seager walks.
You think?
I think so.
Even if he does, I think the Dodgers have such a good team, they don't care.
Yeah.
They really won't. I don't know if they'll miss him that much, especially with Trey Turner there.
Unless something happens, I honestly don't see it. Like, you have Turner. Like, you see what Turner can do. Like, I'm surprised that they don't extend him.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if it was that game or the game before, but Pujols was starting first base. It might have been a game before.
I think it was the game before.
He had 2 hits.
The oldest position player to start a game. I'm like,
yeah, he had 2 hits. So he was 2 for 2. It was cool. But the second hit I think he had came in like the 5th inning or earlier, maybe the 4th, and they pulled him to get a pinch runner, which makes sense. But I was like, man, he can't run no more.
Don't have no legs.
But who's the other guy? There's another guy. I don't know if he's on the Dodgers, or am I thinking of a completely different team? He's a kind of a heavier set guy. I've never really seen him play before, but he's been coming up big for another team. I'm not sure if he plays on who played last night.
The last night game was Dodgers Giants. But the middle game was Atlanta Brewers.
Is it Darren Ruff? Is that a guy I'm thinking of? Maybe not. There's a guy who's been hitting home runs for his team. Well, either way, if I think about him, I'll let y'all know.
Let's go into the ALCS preview. So we have the Red Sox and Astros. Man, this could be a very interesting series.
Agreed.
This is 2 teams that we've
cheaters.
seen. I knew this was coming.
2 cheaters.
Of course, the memes already started where I saw one before I came here. It was like they were putting up magnets to disrupt any camera signals at Fenway and Minute Maid Park. I'm like, oh, Lord, here we go. But, man, not the ALCS that we had. I think we both had White Sox and Rays, so we were both wrong in this one.
Absolutely.
But looking at these 2 teams, this is 2 way different teams, This could be the last hurrah for Houston. This could just be the beginning of some of those younger guys in Red Sox. Red Sox, if they have Chris Sale coming out of the bullpen, that is very dangerous.
Yeah.
This top line starter who's just had a couple starts underneath them, but Same thing in Houston. They have Zach Greinke come out of the bullpen. So it's like that's almost like an even matchup. Possibly, it's like
yeah, man.
Like I don't know. My gut's kind of leaning towards Houston, partially.
And I get it. But my gut is leaning towards the Red Sox, and I'm gonna tell you why. They're in the toughest division of baseball, in my opinion. They outlasted the Rays, who are crazy good. They took care of the Yankees in a one-game playoff. They know what pressure feels like, and I'm not saying the Astros don't, but I'm saying the Astros like to make it to the ALCS. But I think the Red Sox make it past the ALCS, in my opinion.
I think Houston's pitching is not good. Well, pitching's not great. It's good. That infield is what saves them. That defense of the Astros. Now, if they can keep the ball down, I think Astros beat them. If they give up too many home runs, I think then yes, Red Sox will win. But I think the biggest factor I think for me is that Houston has home field advantage. I think that's going to lean the tracker towards me. That's why I'm leaning towards.
Well, you know what? If the Red Sox take Game 1, at the Astros home, I'm assuming they're playing at home.
Yeah, it's in Houston.
I'm saying all you got to do is take one game at home, then
home
field advantage doesn't really make a difference at that point. So if they take Game 1, that'll tell us a lot. And the guy I was thinking about is Rowdy Tellez. He plays for the Brew Crew. He's a big, heavy-set dude. He's pretty badass, man. Anyways, he did play for Blue Jays for a while there, I guess. All right.
Gotcha. Yeah, so, this all starts, of course, Friday night, and I don't think anyone has announced who their starter is yet. I'm checking. Yeah, no one has announced their starter yet. So, of course, at 8:07 on Fox is going to be Houston hosting Boston on Friday. And, of course, Saturday, of course, to be determined time because, be Houston week Game 2 and, of course, Game 1 of the NLCS, depending on who's at where. All we know is Atlanta's in it. We don't know if it's going to San Francisco or it's going to be home against the Dodgers. We'll find out tomorrow night. So, with the NLCS preview, we can't really do too much because we don't have an opponent yet.
Yeah.
Now, Atlanta, I do like Atlanta, but the pitching, I'm wondering if there's enough there for either of these teams that still has to play tomorrow night.
Yeah, man.
We all, their chance we all thought was last year when they had Dodgers on brink and they came back.
But
they can't do it again.
Yeah, what it takes to get here, it takes a lot. And we've already written them off when they lost to Cunha and Ozuna and whoever else.
And Soroka.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But what they've been showing us is that they've persisted and moved on, and they can keep winning. It is going to be a huge challenge if either team that comes out of this other series is going to be they're got to be the favorites.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to rule them out either.
No, I'm not. I thought could be their year. I thought maybe it would come short against White Sox with my preseason picks. They can still surprise us.
But at the same time, man, I feel like everybody's still scared of the Dodgers because the Dodgers, when you see them, it doesn't matter who they're up against. You're like, oh, my God, it's the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But and it makes us think that the Giants are like, the little guy, but they're actually a great team. We keep forgetting this. They're sleeping. They're sleepers. Everybody's sleeping on the Giants. So, because I would obviously say the Braves are rooting for the Dodgers, or I'm saying the Giants to get through because they'd rather face the Giants. But at the same time, the Giants had a better record. So it's really pick your poison.
Yeah, because you think about it, if they want Giants, okay, then we got to go to San Francisco.
Exactly.
If we're rooting for Dodgers to win, we get to host Dodgers here at home.
Right. Either way, you're not in a good situation because both teams are great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a good series. I just hope it's not a blowout for some reason.
Yeah. I really hope. I hope both these series go 7. I feel like Red Sox and Astros, I can easily see that going 7 very easily.
I can see that going 7. I don't see the NL National League going 7 at all.
I'm leaning towards maybe 6.
6
possibly.
Is fine, possibly. It depends on who they play. If the Dodgers come in there, I feel like it's going to go 5.
If this was Dodgers team that had Kurt Kershaw and Trevor Bauer, God.
Well, Muncy should be healthy, maybe, right?
They're not too sure yet. They're still up in the air.
They're hold their cards tight.
Yeah, so we'll see.
They're not going to tell us anything till
if they win tomorrow night. We'll start hearing about him. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure that he'll be on the roster for the next one, just in case he is ready to perform. But we'll kind of wait and see on that one.
But like you said, man, I mean, it just really depends. I mean, both teams have solid players.
It's gonna be a fun game tomorrow night. So a do or die game, division rivals. That atmosphere is gonna be insane. I just hate that it's gonna be so late.
Yeah.
But it's going to be so worth it, especially on the East Coast, staying up that late to watch it. So let's go ahead and get into some other talk. So I can't wait to see what that game's do, but let's go and talk about some other baseball news around the league.
All right. So it looks like Rob Manfred, he's considering to move some MLB games to more non-traditional venues after the Field of Dreams game, which was a success.
Very
and
success.
That was one of the most exciting games I think we've seen all regular season. That's got to be the most exciting game.
That's the game of the year.
Yeah, in my opinion, for sure.
If you think about 2021 MLB game, you're thinking the Field of Dreams game.
Yeah, no other game sticks out.
The atmosphere, how it ended, the back and forth.
Exactly. I don't care about none of the no-hitters, none of that. That is the game that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
So give them an ESPY.
Yeah. That as a script, that is a storybook. So,
you couldn't have asked for a better game.
Manfred already confirmed that we'll have a Field of Dreams game next year, of course.
Which we knew.
Be the Reds and the Cubs.
Yep.
So, the league has held other games, of course, in the Little League Classic. We had again
Which
this
is
year.
fun.
The last 4 years they have done it. Dating back to 1996, MLB have played games in England, Puerto Rico, Australia, Mexico, and Japan. Of course, in 2019, they included the game in Tokyo, Montreal, Mexico, and the first London series, of course, between Yankees and Boston.
Mm-hmm.
It's unclear if MLB has intention to bring these games to next season because of COVID still. But time will tell. What game would we want to see?
Well, it's funny you said that because the game, the places you were talking about in the past, I do recall the last time they played in Montreal, everybody's thinking, "Oh, cool, Montreal, the fans are back. Let's bring another team here again."
Which the Rays have confirmed they are in talks to split the season.
You know what I think would be cool? Speaking of non-traditional venues, I think it'd be cool if they played at different states that don't have professional teams. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. I remember a couple years ago when they did it was a preseason game. I think when they did the West Point game, I think.
Oh yeah,
Mets and
I was just thinking of that. Yeah,
stuff like that, some naval base and stuff.
Absolutely.
I remember when college basketball did that game on the aircraft carrier. Something weird, random like that. You can just build a stadium and do something close. Think stuff like that, like a game in Hawaii.
Yeah,
that'd be something different.
Or in Staples Center. I don't know. Just who knows, man? Just
right,
just anywhere.
NASCAR is going to build a track inside. What is it? The LA Coliseum. It's going to be one of the shortest track.
Man, that's pretty cool.
It's going to be the first race season, the shootout, the little exhibition race. They're doing that inside of a football stadium. They're going to build a track for it.
Kind of makes me think of Ken Block.
I'm like, yo, this is going to be interesting. Stuff like people are now pushing the envelope. So now it's what does baseball do? What other games do you think about?
I don't know how much they can push the envelope, but I do think it would be cool, like I said, if they travel to places we don't know, I don't know, North Carolina.
I think someone put what's next for MLB, a Sandlot game?
That'd be cool.
I'm like, yo.
Remember when they tried to put one together and it kind of did? And they were like, we're going to find all
you do something like a backyard and just do where no hard fans there, you just kind of just show up.
Well, who was it? Was it Bauer?
Bauer and them, but then they said it couldn't do certain, so they had to do with wiffle ball or something. They had to change the rules or something.
If you can get a Sandlot game together with a bunch of players who just want to come play, kind of like a mini All-Star game, I guarantee you're going to be everybody's on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be cool. Instead of All-Star year game, the day before, you let them every player's available, pick 2 captains and let them draft their teams.
Yeah, either that or have a bunch of guys sign up, say, hey, I'm willing to go, and depending on how many people you got, maybe you can make teams, put 4 teams together and do a round robin.
Yeah, a little tournament or something.
Would that be cool? I know it's unlikely just because of the pitchers and this and that, but it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, look, let each guy go an inning and a half or something. I don't know, just for fun.
Yeah, it'd be interesting what they do, where they go.
It would be cool, and also I think it would be cool if you made depending on who plays, but you make the guys from the AL and NL, you have so many of each on each team because those guys don't usually get to play together except for All-Stars, and they play against each other normally.
Yeah.
All right,
mix it up like with NBA doing their picking, do something like that where it's just everyone's everyone. You kind of just we'll see. So. Yankees might inclined to keep Aaron Boone. He is technically a free agent. His contract is up. But Hale Steinbrenner might be inclined to keep him.
Yeah, as far as I heard, the news I saw, he's planning on letting him stay. It's not like he's not kicking him out, basically. I think Boone gets another shot at it, which is lucky for him because not only do you have a great team, you're getting more faith in you. Look, I don't know how tight this chain is, but in my opinion, the leash should be short.
Yeah, so apparently what some people are hearing is that he likes Boone. He don't think he blames him for what happened. A lot of people say it's injuries and that these high-profile players are not, playing to their high capacity.
they're not playing to their capacity, that doesn't mean nothing. Anytime any other team's players aren't playing to capacity, guess what? Coaches get changed. Hitting coaches get fired. Training coaches get fired. It's the coach's fault. If they're not doing something, whose fault is it? It's got to be the coaches. That's how it normally goes. I'm not saying Aaron Boone is the issue, but I'm saying if they don't produce a little bit, there needs to be personnel changes.
I think you're going to give him a short-term deal because, like I said, his contract's up.
I'd give him a 2-year max.
So you're like, let's prove yourself. They had the second highest payroll in baseball behind the Dodgers.
Exactly. That's what makes it more crucial.
And of course, Boone says, I haven't had any conversations about my contract with anyone. We'll see. I love being here. I love going to work with this group of players. He's like, whatever happens, I'm at peace with. I know that I can hold my head up high.
And I'm cool with that. Look, I have nothing against Aaron Boone. He was one of my favorite players. I loved watching him play ball. And I think he's a good skipper, too.
He had 2 90-win seasons. You don't count the 2020 because you can't because, but, you had high seasons.
But the fact is, it doesn't matter. Right. I don't care how many wins you have. You're in the Yankees organization, and they're inclined to go to the playoffs and continue with the success. And the fact that you have one of the best teams on the field, you got nothing but guys who can mash the ball, and they're not producing, that's the whole issue. Stanton had an okay year, Judge had a really good year.
Yep.
He had
Possible
a great year.
MVP candidate. He'll be in the top 10 easily.
So my concern is that your team isn't doing what they're supposed to do.
Which we all knew it was the pitching. We had a lot of question marks, and I think that's where it went wrong.
And to your 90-game wins, it's fine. They are in the toughest division, but they also, like you said, have the highest payroll, the best team on paper. If Aaron Boone would have had 90 wins with the Phillies or something like that, then I'd have been impressed. I'm not impressed with a 90-win Yankee team. I don't care who anybody can coach. I can coach them and win 90 games. Come on. I'm just saying something has to happen.
203 payroll. They're second behind Dodgers at 267.
And exactly. And when you think of the best teams in baseball, you think of those two teams automatically right now.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is you and I can coach this team and win 90 games. That's not the issue. The issue is you're supposed to be the best guy and get them past these hurdles. So I don't know what they need to do, but I am saying if they don't come out hitting, because that's what their big issue. The first half of the season, they weren't doing anything. They were turds.
Yes.
If that, you got to change something quick. You don't have time to mess around. This team is built to win right now. They're not built to win 2-3 years from now. Yeah. They're not building. They're built. So next year, if nothing happens,
I think
you got to go.
I think Judge has got 1 or 2 years left before he hits the market.
I'm just saying. Think about if you look through 1 through 9 and even start looking in the bench, your team is built to win. That's all I'm saying.
I'm almost certain they're going to get one of the shortstops this offseason because I think Gleyber Torres is going to move over to second base.
Which is going to make next year even more crucial for Aaron Boone.
Yep.
In my opinion,
they need a solid pitcher to go behind Cole.
Look, in my opinion, if the Yankees, at a minimum, have to make it to the World Series for you to keep your job, you have to be in the show.
I think minimum you have to get to the championship series.
I don't know, man. Okay, if you're thinking that way, if I'm thinking like Mr. Oldersteinbrenner, I'm thinking you got to go to the show. You might lose at the show, that's fine, and you still might lose your job, but you at least need to make it there.
Yeah.
And lose to the Dodgers or something. You can't go there and lose to the Mets. You lose to the Mets, you're out. Out.
So speaking of managers and stuff, Padres are doing some homework for their next manager.
Yeah, I mean, and why not? This year we had a big letdown.
Yeah.
We thought Slam Diego was here to stay. We thought last year was just the beginning, and this is going to be added on top of that.
Yep.
But they let us down at the end.
So you are starting to hear names. The big one, of course, the runner-up to Tiger from a couple years ago when they were going for their manager position. Then Ron Washington has already expressed his interest of being under consideration for the position, after a few other potential candidates have emerged as well.
Ron Washington would be pretty cool.
Everyone loves him there in Atlanta. Yeah. He's third base coach. He was the Texans manager, took him to back-to-back World Series, lost
those
both
were
of those
tough.
Especially the Cardinals year. You're an out away from winning the World Series. And
I felt so bad because Nolan Ryan, I think, was there, and they were like, what's going on? I thought it was a wrap, bro. But also another guy, Aaron Boone, could potentially go there too.
Because his contract is up. Then you're thinking, semi-retired Bruce Bochy's out there.
Okay.
Buck Showalter, John Farrell, Brad Armas. The names are starting to come out. They're starting to get their list. Some people are like, why is Ron Washington's name's not on this list? Well, Ron's technically still coaching. So, that
you can't talk to him yet.
You can't really talk to him. So these names are available.
I don't know about Buck, though. The Buck stops there. I don't know.
Buck, especially with Manny loves Buck.
Yeah.
And he has experience. But the thing, if you look at all the list of every manager you start to hear, they've all been previous managers.
Yes.
They, their previous manager had no experience.
Well, and I get it. And yes, if you're in a position, if you're in the Padres front office, you probably want somebody with experience because you're like, hey, our team is good. We don't want a rookie
with a nobody.
Need somebody to know what they're doing.
Someone that has more control can, adjust, especially these young guys like Tatis having this meltdown stuff. You need a veteran manager to like get a hold of these players, especially the emotions and stuff. So it's gonna be very interesting when this all said and done. Like, because ultimately, if this doesn't happen in the next year or two, they're gonna be out of job anyways. Because I'm pretty sure the GM's gonna be out of a job, and then whoever comes in is gonna want his own guy.
Of course.
So you're thinking if you don't get this done in 2 years, this is gonna be a short leash on whoever does get that job. I think.
Well, so do you think they're gonna go with somebody experienced, or is that just a rumor?
I think they go with experience.
Okay. I mean, because a guy I think would be pretty cool there, since he's not going to be a Mets manager, is Wally Backman.
One person I saw, they saw are actually
if Wally becomes a manager, you heard it here first, and he was hating.
one person they put up actually our former manager now, Luis
Rojas.
Yeah.
Okay.
They said think about this, and the biggest factor was Gabe with the Giants. He had okay years, of course, down years with Phillies. They let him go. They go to the Giants. He goes within a game of the playoffs his first year. Second year has the best record in baseball.
Okay.
They're thinking it could just be, bad timing. Of course, Mets had a lot of injuries and stuff that were the down year. So the possibility that he is actually a good manager, just needs the right opportunity. And with the team, I'm like, that'd be interesting. That would hurt a little if he'd go there and then get the deal done.
I mean, it makes sense.
He has 2 years experience. His dad's experience, his brother. Like, it could be, but
Look,
we'll see what they do.
There's a pool of so many guys out there that could step up and do the job.
It's literally you have 2 jobs right now. It's either Padres or the Mets. Yeah. There's no other job that's open currently.
Not yet.
And you think it would be up by now. So it's got to be a playoff team. And, of course, we have Boone possibly.
Okay.
So
I'm just saying, man, Wally, get it done.
So speaking of the Mets are considering adding a front office person to their list. His name is Josh Burns. Josh Burns is being discussed as a possible ongoing search for the new president of baseball operations. Burns has spent the last 8 years as Dodgers senior vice president of baseball operations. John Hearn at MLB Network suggested that Burns might pop on the radar because, he was up for the Phillies job last year until he pulled his name. And, of course, Philly ended up going with Dave Dombrowski. So it's be interesting. You see, if you look at what the Dodgers have done.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just depending on if he's open to it, too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a good resume. He's been in the league since 94 with teams, with the Indians, Rockies, Red Sox, Diamondbacks, Padres, and Dodgers. He's got 2 rings, one with the Red Sox and one with the Dodgers.
Yep.
So he knows his stuff. I mean, obviously he's good at his job. So it just depends. Can you get this guy away from the Dodgers organization?
The biggest thing is, since he is the vice president, this would be a promotion. They don't have to ask Dodgers for permission to interview him. Now, the other names that we have heard that they are
senior vice president. So I don't know.
So he's not the president.
El Presidente.
So they don't have to ask for permission since it will be a promotion. So there's that as the fact. So it's interesting, because Anderson does want to come, wants to just do the business end. So this is a name, to really consider. They have to request, of course, Billy Beane and Brewers president of baseball, David Stearns. So we'll see if they can get to interview him and stuff. It's going to be very interesting. But, of course, there's reports getting out there that Billy Beane is now open to listen to the Mets and talk to them. Yeah. I think the factor is what news just broke a little bit earlier today. I think that's what's grown with Billy Beane wanting to leave now, and
that would be pretty cool, man.
I think it's looking like Oakland is leaving. He said he's Oakland for life. He technically owns smart part of the team, but if Oakland's leaving Oakland, what do I need to stay?
This is true.
Let me get to the Mets where I can have a big baller budget, which who knows? Oakland might become big baller budget because where they're rumored of going.
Well, and at least they have to have, if everybody has to spend $100 million, they have to at least do that.
Yeah.
At a minimum.
Yeah. So, I guess we can talk a little bit about Oakland. The report is that after the World Series, they possibly are going to announce that there's going to be finalists to build a stadium in Vegas.
Why not, man? Vegas is a hot spot.
Apparently, they have made 6 trips to Vegas to look at potential spots.
It's happening. It has to.
So we all know it's growing.
Well, look, somebody had to do it, and the Raiders did it. And the Raiders are getting fans. They're winning.
Well, technically,
the Golden Knights.
Golden Knights were the first one.
Absolutely, yeah. So exactly
expansion of that. It wasn't a team moved there. They expanded.
And it's
to
crazy
Vegas.
because the NHL's been expanding like crazy. They just got another expansion team now.
Yep.
The Kraken.
The Kraken started this year.
I'm just saying, man, that's crazy. In the last 5 years, you've gotten two
more teams.
That's crazy. But yes, so like you said, we've seen success with the Golden Knights, success with the Raiders for sure.
Yep, they're finally the first year.
So it makes sense.
It's
got to be a market that's untapped that they're okay with.
And remember, years ago, everyone was worried because Mets were technically a AAA team there. I forgot who it is now, but they had the
51.
worst. They had the worst attendance record in AAA.
But it's AAA, man. I mean,
but everyone's saying people have been moving to Vegas. It's been growing, so maybe that's a big factor too.
Also, if you're a tourist in Vegas, you're not gonna go see a AAA team.
Yeah,
you're gonna see the pros.
Yeah,
so it makes sense.
So and if this is done deal, which we're almost certain. This is going to be their third pro team that Oakland is losing. Because, of course, San Francisco 49ers, they moved across the bay. Golden State moved to the new arena in San Francisco. And now you're losing your Oakland A's to go out of state completely, which, technically you lost the Oakland Raiders, too, to go to Vegas. So you lost 2 of your teams to Vegas.
Yep. It's got a tough one to swallow, man.
So all you got to look at your local council, you had 4 major sports pretty much in your area, and you've lost all 4.
That's tough. Whew.
So if they do it in Vegas, which we're almost certain the deal is, because I think they're trying to be polite and wait for after the World Series to announce their big name, their big, idea to merge. Of course, they have to go to, the owners' meeting, probably the CBA new agreement's got to hold things up. Who knows? But that could become a big market. You think about it here in a year or two. So. Then that's wondering, is Oakland going to blow their team up, trade their stars to get prospects so that time when the stadium's built, they have this young, performing team ready to move into their new stadium?
Yeah.
Or do they go and move to Vegas and use the AAA stadium for now until their stadium's built? We'll see. We'll see what their announcement is. So, but as Mets fans, Alan, who do we want as our next manager right now?
Well, if it ain't Wally... I'm thinking, honestly, with the team that we put together this season and the players that are currently playing on this team, I like a second chance Beltran.
I easily see that, possibly.
It's just that, I think it'd be a good fit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If not him, then the same candidates you're seeing around, like Ron Washington maybe. But I like Beltran. That's my guess.
I do like Beltran. 2 names, if I thought about it, is, of course, Bruce Bochy. If he is willing to come back into baseball, he's taking 2 years off now. Maybe he gets an itch, maybe not. I think Dave Roberts said I don't think he's coming back. I guess they're kind of close, but Buck Showalter, the experience in New York,
he just doesn't excite me.
Yeah, he doesn't. But he's been in New York, so he knows how to manage. He's with the Yankees.
But that's what what I'm saying is that he knows how to manage. But what's he going to bring that's different from the other guys that we already had there? Nothing.
My biggest one I'm circling.
Okay.
Is that we do get Billy Beane, and he brings his manager, Bob Belvin, from the Oakland A's to be our manager.
And that's fine. Yes, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But, I'm not excited at all about Buck.
Yeah.
I just don't think he brings enough to our team.
If it's not Billy Beane, I would love for Beltran to actually get his legit shot
to
be a manager.
Or even if Billy Beane brings his man, that's cool.
Yeah.
But even if he doesn't bring him, at least, let Beltran talk to you and see where you guys are at. The only concern I will have with Beltran is that he's a rook. He's gone straight to managing.
I think with the whole, remember when he first became our manager, the rumor is trying to get a solid bench coach to be like
a guide.
The rumor was Terry Collins there for a little bit, but Terry's like, I'm not done. I was like, as a bench coach, he probably is knowledgeable where he could help you, but
I don't like Terry there either, man.
Yeah, so
I don't know who Beltran needs to bring his own guy in.
He does.
If he needs a Mets previous guy, then we need to bring back my man Bobby V. He can sit in the bench with a fake mustache and call the game with you.
Nah, he's in politics now, man.
Nah, he's an athletic director for some university. He could be in politics. I
thought
don't know.
he's trying to go for something like a mayor.
But maybe he is.
Something like that. I heard. I'm like,
well, currently
like
he's an athletic director, but he might be
I think
doing
he's going
that.
for like a mayor or something position. I'm like, whoa.
But look,
like, that's
regardless, I think Beltran, just like I said, with the team right now, I think he brings the energy we need. I don't know. If anybody wants to leave, though, I would take the Cubs manager.
Oh, David Ross.
Yeah, I would take him too, man. I like him.
That's a full rebuild over there. I don't like.
That's what I'm saying.
Does he have the patience for that?
It's not a full rebuild in Mets.
No, I'm saying Cubs.
No, I'm not talking about the Cubs. I'm
just saying that for him to leave,
oh,
he's under contract. Like that's a little bit long process, possibly.
I hear you.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
And the only thing I have against Beltran is that the new owner. I mean, is he feeling Beltran at all? You know, I don't.
As a big Mets fan, maybe he's kind of connected with Beltran. I don't know if they ever had conversations. So this is all previous management. So maybe they'll have a conversation with possibly. But the biggest thing is, who's going to be our president of baseball operations? Because that's got to be signed first, and then the decision of manager.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It doesn't make sense to get a manager then a president. It makes perfect sense to get the president first. Let him do whatever he wants. Maybe you get Beltran,
get his GM, and then after that they go get their manager.
Right, and maybe the other manager doesn't come with Billy Beane, and maybe he does like Beltran, and then maybe Beltran talks to David Wright and become his bench coach. I don't know. I'm just saying, man. We gotta have a good reunion.
Yeah. So our last little piece of news we got is Major League Baseball has announced their qualifying offers for this year. It's actually went down by $500,000.
That's nuts.
So 18.4 is this year's qualifying offer for free agents to be.
How much is it?
18.4.
18.4.
It was 18.9 last year.
Oh.
So it went down $500,000.
I wonder why.
Because the top 125 salaries is based on what's on, their deals have actually shrunk. So that's why the qualifying offer has shrunk. Because a lot of the top guys have taken team-friendly deals, so it lowered the qualifying offer.
So how do you think this qualifying offer lowering will actually be in effect with the cap rate going up? I mean, I'm saying that if it's $100 million, do you even give them a qualifying? You're just like, all right, here's a couple extra $100,000.
Possibly, but it's a qualifying offer. If they don't take it, then you get a pick.
Right.
If they do take it, it's a 1-year deal for that amount.
But who's going to want to take a hit like that? See, it's just...
Well, you think, like I said, Syndergaard makes the most sense to take the qualifying offer.
Okay.
To prove himself.
Okay, you're right.
Conforto could be, because he had a so-so year. Is he going to get $18 million on the open market? I don't think so.
I don't know, man.
But do Mets offer the qualifying offer?
I like Conforto a lot, and you know that. I just wish he stay healthy. Syndergaard, I feel like he doesn't have to take this qualifying offer. I feel like if he doesn't, somebody else is going to say, we need you.
Yeah.
Like the Yankees, for example.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, he could take it, but at the same time, he can get somewhere else. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Even being injured.
It's very interesting to be decreased that amount.
Yeah, me too, man.
It's grown every year. The last, I forgot, I had the thing, but I guess didn't save. Every year has gone up dramatically or decently, but of course everyone got a little cheaper. It went down.
Well,
so
I guess if you take into account last year where they lost a lot of money, but I would think that they would at least just cap it where it was already at, not go backwards. That's almost unheard of.
That's the ratio that how it came out to. So
man.
Whoever gets offered it, they have until December 1st to accept it for that 1-year deal. Of course, that is the same day that the new CBA will expire, to possible where there could be a labor lockout starting then. Could be when they're supposed to report to spring training. Who knows with the CBA talks after that. So,
all right, man.
So, like I said, tomorrow night, Game 5, do or die. We'll find out who will face the Braves. Other than that, go watch the race. See our pretty faces on it for a brief second. If you like what you hear, please share with a friend. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that like button, especially if you're on YouTube. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.